start, so yeah, just...
Now how do you go to the next...
So you go like that. Okay?
Alright, cool.
Cool. Just whenever you're ready.
So, oh, wait, hang on. Give me a second.
It's okay.
Once if I really mess up, like halfway through. Actually, no, I won't
What if you mess up? There's no way to mess up.
I won't mess
You're
up.
just telling me about your idea, and if you get stuck, I'll ask you questions.
Okay, good, let's start.
Cool.
Alright, G-Tramp. So I started off with 3 ideas. So I got speech therapy, homelessness in Bristol, and garden trampolining, or G-Tramp. So my main idea for G-Tramp, was by interviewing my friend who was trampolining in his garden for 3 years, and started off by doing a singular flip and eventually ended up doing a quadruple flip. Speech therapy, I'll be following my mum, who works in that division. She's been doing it for over 20 years. And homelessness in Bristol, I'll be interviewing a family friend who was homeless for 2 years.
Cool. Lovely.
Cool.
Get behind that. Nice ideas.
Project outline. So I decided to do G-Tramp as it was my personal preferred option, as I have a personal connection because I also did it. The theme of the film is perseverance, as G-Tramp requires a lot of patience and continued effort despite many difficulties. My documentary will have a summertime feel and an overall positive tone, and a primary interview which will be continued through a voiceover and with regular cutbacks. I have access to over 3 years of archive footage, and I may even do a Zoom call as I have a few additional short interviews for other trampoliners around the country. I want my documentary to inspire and introduce G-Tramp to a wider audience and show how important the recognition of smaller and lesser known sports are. G-Tramp has a thriving online community revolving around the sport. This is through social media, and I may touch on this as it shows how this sport is always evolving and growing. The intention of this film is to put it on YouTube and as part of an anthology of documentaries from all students of Boom Satsuma Film and TV. This is my mood board. I use a lot of images of people doing flips and tricks. This is to show the documentary's primary shot type, as opposed to a still interview, although I am still doing interview cutbacks as shown here.
Lovely.
Some images like this one, so these ones and these ones and these ones and these ones, are examples of shot types I will try to recreate and hopefully even improve on. As you can see, my overall colour palette is very bright and colourful. This will show through in my final documentary. Budget. I tried to keep my budget as cost effective without limiting myself. So I got a camera, lens, microphone, tripod, reflectors, gimbal, and an Adobe Premiere Pro membership. Overall, the total cost was £244. Production schedule. I have created a strict but fair production schedule. I believe I have enough time to complete this project by the 28th of May.
Nice.
My longest amount of time, the longest section of my production schedule is the edit, as I believe this will take the most amount of time, as I will try very hard on this section. Sample footage. I have used a lot of sweeping shots and cutbacks and cutaways, along with I also have voiceovers over these shots.
Did you use a gimbal for that one?
No, I just use my phone, although in the final project I will use a gimbal.
Nice.
Alright. Legal and ethical. I will take steps to ensure that everyone involved in my documentary feels safe and comfortable at all times. If I want to use any copyrighted music, sounds, or any other protected source of media, I will ensure to use royalty-free sound and music, or I could even try get in touch with the artist or maker if I really needed a specific piece. One problem I may encounter is my subject is under 18, meaning that I'll need parental or guardian permission to film and photograph them. I will have to make sure him and his carer signs a minor consent form and is informed at any point that he can step down from his role. I'll make sure to follow Ofcom's rules of regulatory communications, and also I will need to have an I will need to understand the community of advertising practice, the sister company to ASA. Cool. Any questions?
Good. That was really, really good fit. Really nice. Well done. Really well prepared. I'm really impressed. So yeah, don't be nervous. It's really good. And your project sounds great. I think it's obviously a really nice and accessible idea. And like you say, you've got loads of archive footage, which is really cool. Do you have a specific person in mind that you're going to interview? Because remember that it is a portrait documentary, so it's about one person specifically, if you can, but around a whole topic.
Didn't I say that at the start? I said my friend Louis.
Okay, cool.
Louis Fox.
Okay, so you've got a person that you're going to interview.
He's my friend. So I think I must have missed that right at the start.
Yeah, I think you did, but that's okay. So you've got someone really specific.
Yeah, sorry.
That's really
sorry
good
for missing
then.
that.
That's okay. So, if for instance, say Louis, you can't use him because he's ill or unwell, do you have like a contingency plan of somebody else you could use?
I do know other trampoliners around the country, although they all live quite far away, so I might have to change my subject overall to speech therapy, which would take more time, although I am prepared to put in the time. Although that is very, very, very unlikely that he's gonna call it off, or I mean, obviously there is a chance that he'll be ill, but I have left enough time in my shooting period.
Okay, nice.
Well, yeah.
Could you also potentially use something else?
I could use Zoom. You are right.
So if you were going to interview people around the country?
You are right, Zoom. I have kind of briefly got in touch with a few people, and they are comfortable with Zoom. So, yeah, no, although my main focus is Louis.
Nice, perfect, cool, okay. In terms of any further development, have you thought about any ways in which you could develop this further than just a 3-minute long documentary?
Any further development? I could bring a story into, because right now I'm just doing on a hobby. Right? If I wanted to develop it more, I feel like I could bring a story into it. So maybe I know someone who broke his, I can't remember what specific bone it was, but it was something in like his back or neck or something, and he recovered completely after I think a year and a half. So I could do the story on that through Zoom.
So kind of more like what's it called? Like a overcoming a difficulty story.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that could be cool. Nice. Yeah, that's good further development, and that could almost become like a whole hour-long documentary rather than like just 3 minutes. So that's really cool.
Talk about the recovery.
Yeah, nice. And who do you see being your target audience for this? You might have already covered it. I might have missed it, but just go over it again for me.
Give me a second. So my target audience is mainly between the Well, mainly between 12 and 20, as people older than 20 aren't usually interested in G-Tramp. And my main objective with this documentary is to introduce and inspire younger people to maybe even try it out themselves. And of course there are the occasional red herring, but mainly between 12 and 20 is mine.
Cool.
And they will be interested in extreme sports, like moving their body around, even just anyone who's like interested in like any kind of parkour, snowboarding, skiing, even just football. Like, it's still a sport. It's still active.
Nice. Wicked. Cool. Well done, Kit.
Mhm.
Really, really good.
Was that good?
Yeah, fab.